shit with me again, I'll kill you. And all you little Chinese Mushu pork potions in the world will not save you next time.
You know, you shouldn't knock Chinese potions. I have something in my pocket right now that'll completely clear up that bruise on your forehead.
What bruise?
That bruise.
Hey guys, welcome back. You know, as much as I do not like Steven Seagal movies, they are freaking hilarious, they're entertaining, and that scene was just too funny. But anyway, I am here today because I just can't believe that it's been like 10 days since I made a last video and it felt like it was just yesterday. Like, what the hell is going on? It's so hard to keep up with this YouTube lifestyle. There's no way. I give so much respect to all those people who are just creating content on the daily, uploading it, and then, like editing it and doing all these fancy things to it, and then coming onto YouTube and doing it all over every single day, or even every other day. I thought I was producing videos at one time. I was doing it every single day, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is getting crazy. And it's not like the money was flowing in or anything, but you saw a couple pennies extra each day as you're uploading videos. But let's clear up all that nonsense. Let's get into why I'm here today. And of course, I am still talking about Chia. What the hell's going on with Chia? There was something really interesting that I found, and obviously I didn't find it. Someone posted on Reddit and it's like, how come it's not getting on the mainstream? Why isn't Chia being targeted, especially when it's being spoken about on exactly what it was trying to accomplish? And what the hell am I talking about? The carbon credits, they've been doing that. They've been saying things about carbon credits since like day one of this whole project, right? So why is it that it's not being on the mainstream? So let me just go over the price right now. $30.02. Guys, I have seen this drop under the $30 mark, and it was hitting the 29. But as soon as it hit the 29, the damn bots just came in and started buying up all these Chias and bringing the price back up to the $30 mark. Couple days, maybe 2 weeks, actually 2 weeks. All right, let's just talk. 2 weeks ago, it was up in the $32 because you know why? Because I was like, oh my goodness, is the price finally going back up? And you can see this little trend here, and then it just dumped significantly. Something happened on the 16th. I'm not too sure what it was exactly. I'm sure we can correlate the data that says, Bitcoin dropped and then Chia dropped, or something happened, all right? In those, usually in those extremes where either the market was like crashing like crazy, which it has been, usually that data brings down everything else. So node count, 119,000. It has been dropping. Just want to give a quick update. I'm going to scroll right here. I am still on 1.6 actually. I have not gone to 1.61. I haven't had any issues, any significant issues, and I don't see any reason for myself to actually go up to 1.61 unless it's required. And if it's mandatory, or if I start experiencing issues, then I will move on to the next version. Just FYI for you guys who are questioning, like, oh, as soon as a new release comes out, should I jump on it? Some people do. All right. I mean, some people are fearless like that, but I've gotten to a point where I loaded I think it was 1.5 or 1.51, and I was like experiencing so many issues that I wish it cleared up. And then as soon as the 1.6 came out, I was like, oh my God, it solved everything. I think it was here at 1.51. All right, so there you go. You guys can see that. Crypto Bubble says negative 2.2% today, but we are ranked 133. So it has been staying pretty static right now. I don't know. I mean, there's still things happening, but not as much as it was obviously in the bull run of all the cryptos. And, Chia was releasing all these different things coming out back and forth. Now, one thing I wanted to point out, and I don't have it here, and it just kind of popped up in my mind, was that holiday coins that you were trying to exchange for these NFTs. And I read on a Reddit post somewhere that these NFTs were all identical. There was no significant differences between any one of them besides like a stamp on the creation number or something like that that references that particular NFT as unique. So everyone got the same NFT, and I was like, oh my God, why would you trade in a holiday coin? I honestly think the holiday coin will be worth more in the long term. Now I'm saying it's worth more, but it really has no value to it. It will be worth more than what this NFT that was given out. Does not mean unique. They're all identical as far as what the look is, but obviously each NFT is supposedly or is unique in its own way, not just visually. There you have it. Why do I have Chia's website up? I've found or read somewhere on Reddit that they removed the carbon credit references from their website. I'm like, really? And I started looking for it. I couldn't, I guess I didn't, I don't recall which particular article or blog or news it was on the carbon credit with the World Bank. And I don't see it here, right? I don't see it here. But let me just go to this post right here. Building a robust data infrastructure for carbon markets, launch of the Climate Action Data Trust. And this is why you're here on this video, because I'm trying to figure out why this particular video, and I'm going to explain why we're going to watch it here. I already have it up. It's at the timeline of when they announced Chia right here. So what he's saying here is that usually when someone links a video and they're looking and it was like, he didn't mention Chia, but it was like implied that it's about Chia. Well, anyway, this one in particular, when does someone say Chia in the video at 12:28, Lars Kaval, if I'm butchering the name, from Chia Network is introduced to speak. And we are going to watch that segment right here.
And for having a really great technology partner. So now I want to bring up Lars Cavalli from Chia Network. Chia's been amazing in this, I think a blockchain company willing to do this on an open source basis, sort of recognizing the public good nature of this and helping to get us where we are today. So Lars, you get to come up and actually describe what the data trust is all about on the technology side. Thank you, Lars.
There you go. Lars Quayle is the name, that's right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dirk. Thank you, everybody, and the partners for giving us a chance to speak. What I'm going to try and do is to make this a little bit more concrete for the folks that are in the audience. And I may not, or we may not, after the session today, be able to convince all of you, but I would posit that if we meet here in about a year's time, everyone in this room might actually have had use of the Climate Action Data Trust.
Don't worry, guys, his speaking portion is only about a minute
we're
or so.
We're doing things. And then this comes from the fact of there's an ambition that Dirk referenced that we're trying to achieve. Tools like the Climate Action Data Trust are to try and help enable the kind of action that's required. The director and Tayuka mentioned the transparency that's needed in the marketplace. The minister mentioned some of the issues that often come up when there's a carbon market discussion, and whether it's around quality of offsets, transparency, trust, and so forth. And all of those are issues that the Climate Action Data Trust is actually trying to address. It's not just about creating a database of information, it's actually trying to help enable solutions to some of that.
Now, I want to pause it here to just make sure that you guys understand this is not the World Bank. This is just another carbon market, discussion that they're having. And Chia is presenting themselves or selling themselves that this is what they're working on with whatever this company is. I have no idea what it is. Now, I do want to point out another thing. This video was posted 10 days ago. It only got 366 views. And they turned off comments. How, if you turn off comments, how are people going to have discussions? Unless they really don't want to hear it. I don't know, but we'll continue.
So to start from a base level, what it is a global metadata or an aggregation of data from the registries that contain information on carbon projects. It is not replacing registries. It is essentially aggregating that data in a common data model. It's doing that through a peer-to-peer network structure, really a distributed ledger.
So they're using Chia as the peer-to-peer network that correlates all the data that's happening around the world for all these carbon credits. And that's how they're kind of centralizing, or should I say centralizing? Decentralizing the data repository so everyone is on the same page. That's what I read from this.
System, a blockchain, specifically the Chia blockchain. And that's really the idea that a registry can publish their own data. They are the authority of their own data, and they own their own data. But they publish it in this common interface that then creates a trail of information. So,
similar to when you're getting paid your transactions for XCH, that's where your last height farmed or whatever it is, that's where the information that's on that particular block on that chain, you can trace it back 10, 20, 30 years from now and see, oh, that's what happened during that time. And that's how this whole blockchain, one by one puts everything together, and the information is always going to be available.
That's the core of what it is and what it does. And I think one thing that's important is to say that what does it mean when we say it launches today? What that means is that registry can publish their data today, right? This is an open ecosystem. It's an open system, and that can start happening right now. We expect it'll take a little bit of time for registries to get used to how to publish their data and learn from that. I think as any practitioner in the market, if you see the use of this, then it might also be worth speaking to registries about the importance of speed of getting this data surfaced. So I did a couple of slides here just to kind of go through what it is it provides and what we're trying to do here. So if we think of some of those common themes in the carbon market, what is offset quality? Are offsets there's a lot of questions about offsets. Are they real? Are they additional? Are they double counted, double issued, and all those things? One of the key ways.
So I think what he was trying to explain here was redundant data or duplicate data just takes up too much information, and trying to reduce it and make it more direct. Also, not having duplicates, meaning if I sign a sheet of paper with my name and a contract with you, and you have another copy that we both sign, and you have one copy, I have one copy, I think that's just too much, right? We just need one repository, one copy, one signed copy with two parties, and blah, 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 and that sits on the blockchain. So I was trying to understand this more, because we always knew about this whole carbon credit thing, but no matter how much someone tried to explain it, it was just always a confusing, like a big question mark for me. So, maybe this was helping me a little bit.
Solving that problem, but at least bringing more clarity to how big that problem is through transparency, right? And that is one of the key attributes of something like the Climate Data Trust. If you are a project developer, and several of the folks in this room are project developers, there are significant barriers to how to do that.
All right, I'm just going to skip a little bit ahead as we're watching this.
I think those types of... And finally, in 2015, a decision was made that we're all familiar with, the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement is all about the
Paris Agreement.
Peer-to-peer structure of how climate will happen going forward. Body that governs that whole, as Dirk mentioned, open source, but also an immutable auditable
Now this
record.
is just repeating himself again with the transparency.
I would expect that a decent amount of the folks come up. One is about tokenization. This is not tokenization. This is about revolutionary here. Anybody that has logged into a registry before has seen something like this. What we're looking at here is test data, right? We did this before today.
This honestly looks really similar to the Chia GUI.
But what is unique is that you now have this public free resource where you can surface this data and look at this data, filter this data across the multiple registries that will participate in the climate action.
When he says registries, it's basically like nodes on Chia, right? Everyone is contributing to the data. 130,000 nodes across the United States or America and the world. That information, if one drops, everyone is still going to be holding on to that blockchain and validating the data that's on there. And this is basically what he's demonstrating right now.
Technology infrastructure is being set up here.
All right, so let me just, right here, I just wanted to show this diagram, and we'll cut off over here.
The Climate Action Data Trust and the type of data that's in there. And then finally on the next slide, that is then the data that's submitted by registries, that is hosted by registries, and then gets secured by the blockchain, right? So every time a registry will update their record of data, their full table will create a hash on a block, and that will show you that is the data. If then later that data is updated, there's a new hash, and you get the whole history through that.
So that's pretty much it, guys. You see right here in this diagram, or this slide right here, all this will be considered a single data. This is what he's referring to as the data. And once that data is, there, they submit it onto the blockchain, and this will be that one unique block, right? And this is the data that compiles into all this information, and so on and so forth, right? So from other, you know, whatever organizations, and it just spills out the blockchain. So basically all these different nodes are carrying this blockchain and spreading that data across the world. It's validated. The gist of this whole demonstration of what he was talking about, and that's where we are right now. You know, what's more shocking is that this video didn't get the traction like it's supposed to, because everyone who's in Chia is like wondering why, or what is it that it's doing, and it's doing it right here, but it only got a couple hundred views. Meanwhile, there's 130 or 100, what did I say it was? 119,000 nodes. And for someone to say, what's Chia doing? No one's even watching this explanation of what Chia is trying to accomplish. Besides the fact that they said they were trying to go IPO, which I highly, highly doubt that that's going to happen in this given point in time, especially with the circumstances of what's going on in the whole crypto world and in general, the economy and the stock market. So that's where we are right now. I will link this video, and I'm sure keep track of this, because 366 views. By the time I post this and I link the video in my description, it's probably gonna jump up to like maybe 800 views. Who knows? All right. I want to thank you guys for always being here. I know this video ran a little longer, but please remember to hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Now I still will be doing videos on the basics of getting into Chia farming. All right. I want to thank you guys, and always I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.